The launch of New Zealand Asian Leaders. Can I acknowledge so many dignitaries and important people in the room, and I would love to acknowledge you all. The Honourable Judith Collins, Minister, I know you've just flown back in from China. Thank you for being here. The Right Honourable Sir NZAL, thank you very much for making today's date. If you want to know how we set today's date, which is also the first day of the Indian New Year, because Diwali was yesterday, it was actually because it fitted in with the diaries of both the Minister and Sir NZAL. Can I acknowledge the many MPs and councillors here from Auckland Council, from both sides of the House, from all sides of the House, but Penny Holmes, Deputy Mayor, is here, and I'm grateful. The Right Honourable Winston Peters is here, Consul General New King Bao is here. Can I also acknowledge so many of the great Asian leaders and emerging leaders. I have never seen you all gathered together in a room like this. Functions are a big part of my life, and I have been doing that for all 27 years of my life as a lawyer. But I have never seen a gathering of people like this. And it was for a gathering of people like this that we created New Zealand Asian Leaders. The focus of New Zealand Asian Leaders is to build a critical mass of top Asian New Zealand leaders to increase their contribution to New Zealand Inc. and to mentor emerging Asian leaders. And by Asia, I mean the whole of Asia. Please, it's not China, it's not India, it's the whole of Asia. And so please look around you. Now, I know for some of the Pākehā here, can I just say to you, experience what it is to be a minority. Because, buddy, that is what we do here every day. But can I say, you probably don't know many of the people you are rubbing shoulders with, and let me tell you, this is the elite of New Zealand Asian leaders. There are entrepreneurs, top CEOs, people that have created and founded a great deal of wealth, intellectual property, and created a lot of jobs for New Zealanders in this room. And I'm very proud to be an Asian New Zealand leader when I look around me today and see people who are also Asian New Zealanders. And the New Zealand Asian Leader website makes the invisible visible. Many people have remarked to me today that they didn't know that there were so many Asian New Zealand leaders that were contributing to New Zealand. Or can I make it very clear that this is just the start? It is simply the start. And so can I say to the Asian leaders that are here today, let us draw strength from being here with each other. Let's feel proud to be an Asian New Zealand leader. But most importantly, understand that New Zealand Asian Leaders can be a tipping point leadership organisation. We can help New Zealand succeed so much better in Asia because of our unique skills and attributes. And we can help emerging Asian leaders break through. Imagine if there had been an organisation like this to help us. So where to from here? Fourfold vision. 1, build a critical mass of New Zealand's top Asian leaders and emerging leaders. Your job tonight, this is your assignment. If you know of these leaders, then you need to encourage them to join. There are 50 Asian New Zealand leaders. I just got my 50th member tonight. His name is Tim Ng. He is a hotshot in the public service. He's Director of Macroeconomic Policy at the Treasury. And a person like that making such a huge contribution to this country deserves to be profiled. And most importantly, is a huge resource for us all. If you know of emerging leaders, and some people have said to me tonight that what they can do is make sure that their Asian staff, who are real hotshots and coming through the ranks, are mentored, and they need the help. I certainly needed the help. I just got very good at asking for it. 2, we need to connect these top business leaders with New Zealand businesses that really require the assistance. That's Pākehā businesses, it's Māori businesses, it's Pacifica businesses. I can't wait to throw my first function with top Asian leaders and top Māori leaders. That Taniwha Dragon experience will be a very rich one, I am sure. Thirdly, we need to build a pipeline of emerging Asian leaders and entrepreneurs, and we need to mentor them to maximise their full potential. Now, can I say, we now have an entrepreneurs leadership group. And it's Dr. Sahil Chowdhury, who's the hotshot at New Zealand Post. He runs the overseas business for New Zealand Post. It's Adriana Tong, who's one of the most senior and accomplished Asian New Zealand entrepreneurs in this country. It includes Mitchell Pham, who has founded his own very successful company and who can't be here tonight because he's got a sick family member. And I've also enlisted Apahia Lesbans, who is one of New Zealand's foremost young entrepreneurs. And I've also got a government group, and I am hoping that Mervyn Singham will lead that. He's just been promoted and is now in the Department of Internal Affairs. But the study that Ernst Young did of the top companies in New Zealand and the amount of senior managers and governors, directors who are Asians, is also replicated in the public service. So the influence of this organisation is needed everywhere in terms of showing everybody, including Asians themselves, that we have a big contribution to make. Finally, can I just say, DSD Consulting Limited is going to take the research done by Ernst Young, and they are going to conduct further research in conjunction with New Zealand Asian leaders into the representation of Asians in leadership. It's important to measure it, because then we can measure progress. Just as New Zealand, the Asian New Zealand Foundation was able to measure how New Zealanders feel about doing business with Asia. It's got better over time. It's important to measure it. So thank you to Una Diver, who is here on crutches tonight, and to Susan Doherty. Finally, we need to build New Zealand Asian leaders into an asset for New Zealand Inc. That's what it becomes. If you look at New Zealand Global Women, it's become an asset for New Zealand. This organisation will also become an asset for New Zealand Inc. So we've got sessions on tourism, on food safety, on Asian entrepreneurs, on language and culture, on Asian investment. And can I say that I'm also grateful to Dame Roseanne Mayo and to Adrian Young-Cooper, who are amongst a group of people who will lead the first session for emerging leaders on how senior managers can interface with boards, or how they should do that successfully, and how to be great, to be a great director. So, look, I've always found it hard to listen to the part of the speech, which is the thank yous to all the people. But you know, who saw the gap? Who saw the gap? Who understood the vision? I want to quote to you from Professor Peter Chen, my father, and my mother, who are a great source of inspiration to me. When I was finding it very difficult to set up this organisation at the start, when everyone said, what is it, why do you need it, why is another Asian group, what's the gap? He cited Galileo to me, and Galileo said, quote, all truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. The point is to discover them. And so I want to thank the BNZ, who understood the vision and put up some money. And that built the website. I want to thank EY, that's hosting today. They provided a tremendous amount of support and encouragement. And I do want to pay tribute particularly to Joanna Dillon, who helped there. Frank Sui from the BNZ, so many others from the BNZ. Emerald Group is also a sponsor. Banana Works, they did all of the branding. That's all their work, and they did it for free. World TV, they did all of the videos that are online. They're filming tonight, we're going to put it on the website. They're making the invisible visible. Kia, World's Best New Zealanders, they've helped too. They sent publicity about this organisation to 42,000 people globally, including 6,000 in New Zealand. Why does that matter? Well, because if people don't know, they can't join. And it's free publicity for the organisation. So can I say Ice House did the same. Institute of Directors were happy to work with us to mentor emerging leaders. The University of Auckland Business School, Professor Junot Wong is here tonight. But Greg Whitchett, the Dean, and him, and Junot said, you need it, tell us what you need, you get it. I've received so much help from Pat English. Patrick English was quite extraordinary at the start because nobody knew what it was that I was trying to do, and Patrick held my hand and said, it'll be all right, just keep going. So Patrick, I'm grateful. And Frank Sui, thank you for your help. Florence Wong. Kai Lui, you summoned some Asian people together and said this is a good thing to do. And so did Taran Kunji, so did Kanwal Bakshi Singh, who's here tonight. I acknowledge you. Thank you very much for your help. Dr. Showing Fu, Vino Ramaya, you recommended many people for this group. And can I say, they were all heavy hitters in the Asian world. And because of your recommendation, they came on board. Dame Rosie Horton was an early supporter. I explained to her my idea, and she didn't say, well, that's a dumb idea, so thank you. She said it was a good idea, and I should keep going. And when you're at the start, you don't forget people like that. Rosie is an enabler, and I recognise and salute that. So, can I just say now, if you're an Asian leader, you should join. If you're an emerging Asian leader, you should join. If you are a corporate, you should seriously think about your staff, because what the stats show is that if you have Asians, they're generally at the bottom. They can really seriously help your business, particularly if your major markets are in Asia, and increasingly that is the case. Can I now call on the Right Honourable Sir Anand Satinand? He is going to set up the stage beautifully for the Honourable Judith Collins, who will follow. Sir Anand Satinand.